What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my picks for MLB Wednesday, September 16th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at this 9-game main slate. So at the pitcher position, you got two stud pitchers that are in great spots here tonight. You got Jacob deGrom and Garrett Cole, but you got to pay up for those guys. Jacob deGrom is $11,700 FanDuel salary and $1,300 less on DraftKings, and Garrett Cole is $11,500 FanDuel salary and $1,600 less on DraftKings. They're both in great spots and worth paying up for if you can. I'm going to give you some value plays in this video so that you can fit one of those pitchers into your lineup. But if you want to pay down at the pitcher position, take a look at Brady Singer from the Kansas City Royals playing the Detroit Tigers. He has a 20% batting advantage here because he pitches outstanding versus switch hitters. I'm not sure how big this sample size is versus switch hitters here, but he is only giving up a .311 OPS versus switch hitters, and he faces 4 switch hitters here tonight. He's also only giving up a .755 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 4 righties here tonight. So his weakness is versus lefty batters. He's facing 0 lefties, so he has outstanding splits, and it's a small sample size. The Tigers have hit 2 of 6 of his pitches, so let's throw that out. And he's only $8,000 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,800 less on DraftKings. So a super low DraftKings price for this guy. He scored 58 fantasy points last game. He has an ERA of 4.66. He's 2-4 on the season, and he's pitching an average of 91 pitches per game, averaging 24 fantasy points per game. But he's got that 50-plus fantasy point upside. He's got great splits and an awesome matchup here versus the Tigers. So if you don't want to pay up for pitcher, I like Brady Singer here versus the Detroit Tigers. Okay, let's take a look at the first base position. I like Ronald Guzman with a 22% batting advantage over Lance McCullers Jr. Ronald Guzman is batting 31% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .834 OPS versus righties. And Lance McCullers is giving up a .774 OPS versus lefties. He's 1 for 3 with a 1 OPS versus McCullers. He's only $2,500 FanDuel salary and $100 less on DraftKings. He's averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 13, 0, and 22 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I think this guy makes a nice value play if you're looking to save some salary for those pitchers. So I like Ronald Guzman here versus Lance McCullers. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Robinson Cano with a 29% batting advantage over Zach Wheeler. Robinson Cano is batting 18% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .867 OPS versus righties. And Zach Wheeler throws his worst ball versus lefty batters, 11% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .719 OPS versus lefties. Robinson Cano is 2 for 6, batting a .333 batting average and a .833 OPS versus Wheeler. Robinson Cano is $3,000 FanDuel salary and $1,100 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He's projected at 9.8 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Robinson Cano here versus Zach Wheeler. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, who do we have at the third base position? I like Maikel Franco with a 81% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Tarik Skubal. Maikel Franco is batting 15% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .851 OPS versus lefties. And Tarik Skubal throws his worst ball versus righty batters. 66% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a 1.082 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Skubal yet, but Franco is $2,900 FanDuel salary and $1,400 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 19, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Maikel Franco here versus Tarik Skubal. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I'm going to give you another value play here. I like Willie Castro. Now, he doesn't have a pitching advantage here, and he is pitching against that pitcher, Brady Singer, who's really good versus switch hitters, but there's not many options for decent value plays here, and this looks like one of them. Willie Castro is batting 6% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .781 OPS versus righties. And Brady Singer, he's a low salary pitcher, so this OPS versus switch hitters, I'm really not sure the sample size on this, or if it's just he hasn't faced many switch hitters, so this is a little suspect to me. But he is only giving up a .311 OPS versus switch hitters. There's no at-bats versus Singer yet, and Castro is $2,800 FanDuel salary and $1,300 more on DraftKings. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 28, 6, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games. Projected at 10 fantasy points here tonight. So if you're looking for that extra value play, take a look at Willie Castro here versus Brady Singer. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Whit Merrifield versus that same low salary pitcher, Tarik Skubal. Whit Merrifield is batting a .818 OPS versus lefties. And we know Tarik Skubal pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, giving up a 1.082 OPS versus righties. Whit Merrifield is $3,300 FanDuel salary and $2,100 more on DraftKings. Oh, there's no at-bats versus Skubal yet, and he's averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He's been on fire here. He scored 15, 22, and 25 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 10.7 fantasy points here tonight. So I like Whit Merrifield here versus Tarik Skubal. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.